So in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about my journey and why I do what I do, and then how I came to doing what I'm doing. Okay, so I came to Canada when I was actually, turning 14, turning 13 from 14. And, obviously when I came to Canada, I came from, Sri Lanka. Didn't really know how to speak English really well. And I had to, had to go through a very interesting learning experience of me needing to learn the material in school, and also learning the language fast, right? So it was a very interesting, I would say, childhood, or teenage years, where I have to kind of get to learn many things in a very rapid rate, right? So, and somehow, I went to university. Somehow I went to high school. In the beginning I didn't do too well, but later on I started to pick up the language. I started to pick up the material, and then was able to get decent enough grades to essentially graduate and then start my university career at UFT. And when I was UFT, I decided to study psychology, which was one of my favorite subjects at that time. And I actually at that time wanted to become a psychologist at that time, specifically a high performance psychologist or sports psychologist, where helping people kind of do what they do but even better, right? Kind of what I'm doing right now, right? So try to help people to kind of advance the way they play the game, advance the way they do things in their life, right? So I studied psychology. I loved it. I love studying psychology. I also studied, one of my other majors was I was studying health sciences or health studies, which is to really understand the various diseases and things within the body, right? So when I was studying these things, I was really interested to pursue it more. But in the meantime, I really got a real interest after I studied psychology. I really wanted to, rather than doing more research, I wanted to go actually work for companies. I wanted to go work in a company and learn how to do business, right? And specifically business technology, right? So that's something that I really was interested at that time. Even when I was graduating from university, I was applying for MBA programs and things like that. But I realized really the best way to get experience is go work for somebody, right? So once I graduated, I couldn't really find a role because I had a degree in psychology. Nobody was hiring psychology graduates at that time. So what I did was essentially start my own project, which is I learned how to get better grades in university. So I was building out a website called High GPA, and it was kind of helped me to kind of get my first role at Oracle. And one of my actually friends were working at this company as well. So he referred me to this position at Oracle, which was essentially a call center job. I had to work in a whole bunch of call center jobs as well. Once I graduated, I actually worked for another investment management company, right? I didn't really like my time too much there, but I did what I can. And then I decided to stay home a little bit and try to figure out, okay, what? I don't really want to do this investment management stuff, even though, I've been investing for a long time, but didn't really want to do it too long. So that's when my friend at Oracle told me, why don't you apply for the position here? And, we went through, one of my best friends were actually, going through the same process at that time, where he was trying to join Oracle as well. And both of us end up getting hired at the same time, thankfully, you see. And it was great. And while I was there, this is when I started to decide to really understand technology, really wanted to go get into deep understanding of, how businesses use technology and things like that. So while I was working there, I really started taking courses and being certified in different technologies, right? One of them was, being the digital marketing courses that I was doing, digital marketing certifications that I was doing, right? So that really helped me kind of develop a deeper understanding of different technologies. So, and once I do that, I realized, after working for a year or so, I realized, many people weren't weren't happy there, right? I wasn't even too happy when I was working at Oracle. So I decided, you know what? I want to explore more. I want to go do other things. I want to see if there's any other roles that would match what I want to do more, right? So I started applying for things, applying for jobs and things like that. Didn't really get a lot of luck in the beginning, right? So what I started to do is, actually not many companies were willing to hire, even though there was a little bit of interviews and things that are coming, but not many companies were looking to hire at that time. So what I did was I really went out looking for techniques and strategies on how to create a good resume and how to do well in interviews. And at that time, LinkedIn was coming up as well. So I was like even learning about LinkedIn and how to improve my LinkedIn profile so I can have a lot more people attracted to my profile and things like that. Right? So when I started to apply these techniques, I started to get, more and more calls for interviews and things like that. So, obviously those kind of things work. And then I started to, in 2018, right? After I think about a couple of years leaving Oracle, I became a senior technology consultant actually at one of the biggest digital marketing or marketing automation companies at that time, right? And after that, in 2019, I got essentially hired as a client success director for one of the top media companies in the world. It was called WPP, and they had a different company that focused on marketing automation called Vertical that I was working there in 2019, right? And I realized, you know what, my techniques were actually starting to work, because I can now having a much more easier time getting these roles and things like that. And all along the line, I decided, you know what, I was actually been helping people at that time, right? So I was like, especially my friends and things like that who wanted to enter into digital marketing or marketing automation or even in just tech, right? They wanted to get into tech. So I started to teach them, how to get a little bit of experience. I started to help them with their resumes, how to help, how to do well in interviews, right? How to improve their LinkedIn profile and things like that. I started to help people out. And even some of them, I was actually doing some of the projects on my own, and I would also involve them in these projects and help them out with these projects as well. And I told them, basically, like, if you were to do these projects that you're doing with me, you can easily go talk to companies about the experiences you had, because you have real life experience, right? So I was getting them involved into these projects. So that's when I decided, why don't I do something similar to this and actually go beyond helping my friends that was close to me, going beyond and helping people, that whoever needs it, right? So this is what I'm doing now, which is I'm creating, online courses and writing books for people to essentially help them with their career and their life now. And also, as you know, that I'm creating educational programs to help people start careers in tech as well. And I obviously provide coaching to professionals to, help them advance their life and career. So that way we can all have a, much better, time while we are here in this planet, right? So these are the things that I decided to do during my career. So hopefully you found that useful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on my rest of my course. Okay, see you later.